want to get philosophical then. Okay, let's get philosophical. What is B-roll? I just wanted to be quick with that. Now let's move on to more of the fun stuff. Today, in 3 chapters, we're going to be covering the basics of getting B-roll, how you go about getting B-roll, and what makes for the best B-roll. Come along. So let's start with some of the more boring stuff. Camera shots. What are those? Well, an extreme wide shot. A wide shot. It's a medium shot. Please don't come any closer. A close-up. And lastly, extreme close-up. Now, you can use all these types of shots to help sequence your B-roll to tell your story the best way possible. What do I mean by sequencing B-roll? Well, imagine this. You're featuring someone's record player. You'd start with an extreme close-up of the records where they look through it. Maybe you hear about them talking about the feeling of picking music in the background and whatnot. Maybe you have them pull it out and show it to the camera before you have them place it onto the turntable, and then you have the beautiful shot of them placing the needle onto it, and then the music starts to play. Something you need to avoid is cutting to the same type of shot. That is a big no-no. Keep it changing, keep it cohesive, and make sure you have a ton of variety in there. A very important first step of filming B-roll is actually planning. And I know that sounds weird, but think about it. You're gonna need to know what footage you're gonna look for so you can plan how your story is gonna play out. So you can look for and think about, oh, what kind of stuff can I shoot for that B-roll? Ask yourself, what does the viewer need to see about this topic? Like, if it's a topic about a gymnast, what do they need to see? Probably them doing gymnastics. If it's a bakery, what do they need to see? Probably them making bread. But you don't want to get footage of them walking on the beach. You want to make sure your B-roll pertains to what your story is about. Another big thing, even though I know it seems obvious, is put whatever you're filming with on a tripod. Stable footage looks so much nicer. Shaky footage might disorient the viewer. It's definitely necessary to keep your footage, whatever you're filming with, keep it on a tripod. When you start filming, this is how I like to go about it. I like to get my bread and butter first, my wides, my mediums, my tights, some close-ups and some cutaways, just like the stuff I know I'm gonna need to throw in there for like, this is what this place is, you know? But once you've covered those bases when it comes to traditional shots, maybe 10 or 20 of those, start getting a little bit more creative with it. Get close to the subjects, move around, run around, lower the tripod, put it on the table. Get creative. I think that's the most important thing you can do when making packages and shooting B-roll, is just get creative with it, you know? Make sure you're showing the viewer something visually interesting while they're listening to the audibly interesting story. The number one thing you need to take away from this lesson is that you always need to shoot more than you think. Always shoot more. Less is not more. More is a minimum here. You need to get at least 15 to 20 seconds per shot, and you might be thinking like, oh, why do I need 15 to 20 seconds if it's only 3 to 5 seconds for a B-roll shot? It's because you can get a little more variety in making your decisions when editing if you have a little bit more footage to work with. A couple tips to get some better B-roll is to keep moving. Set up the camera, get a few shots, move on. Just film as much as possible, and I cannot ever say that enough. Also, angles, shooting in different angles. Don't get stuck in shooting straight on. Get high, get low, shoot to the side, get a bunch of different ways to look at your subject. I really find filming fun because you can experiment in kind of different ways to film things. And that's really what I want you guys to be doing. I want you guys experimenting with your B-roll, and I want you guys making your packages look as pretty as possible. Now, it's pretty late. I want to go to bed, so have a good night.